morning, good afternoon, and or good evening. On the Miniature Misinformer podcast, Games Workshop sues a 3D model designer, Siege Studios steps on a rake named Warboot, and Warcrow proves that even elves can unionize for better resin rights. Yes, it's been one of those weeks where the hobby community learned that intellectual property law is the new meta. Grab your brushes, hide your STLs, and brace for the cease-and-desist apocalypse. This is C7 Miniature Misinformer, where every miniature matters, but satire matters more. On our hobby scandals, the big one, Games Workshop versus Ghamak lawsuit. Games Workshop has officially filed a lawsuit against Ghamak, a 3D sculpting studio known for creating models compatible with Warhammer armies. Games Workshop claims Ghamak's designs are too similar to official minis and, get this, of inferior quality. That's right. The company that once sold resin bubbles as a limited edition character scarring is now calling someone else's work low quality. The community predictably exploded. Some fear that this could set a precedent that strangles 3D sculptors and fan creators. Others just hope Games Workshop doesn't discover their secret proxy Space Marines with Hats project. Legal experts say the cease could drag on for years, or until Games Workshop releases a limited edition litigation codex, chapter approved. The Warboot trademark debacle. Meanwhile, Siege Studio tried to trademark Warboot, a grassroots hobby swap name. Within hours of sending out cease-and-desist letters, they received more hate than a rules update for Tau. The community fired back with their own event names: Fight Sock, Battle Crocs, and the rapidly trending War Glove 2025. Siege Studio later apologized, stating they misread the intent of the term. Translation: they discovered the power of 100,000 angry painters on caffeine. A bonus scandal, the app update. Games Workshop dropped a digital rule overhaul, moving all datasheets and stratagems into faction packs. Now you too can experience the thrill of downloading 8 PDFs just to find your warlord trait. Fans are calling it a bold new area of inconvenience. Games Workshop calls it streamlined. We call it confusing. And time for our community watch. Corvus Belli's Warcrow marches on. The makers of Infinity just dropped new Warcrow releases, proving that fantasy and steampunk can in fact coexist as long as your base has enough gears glued to it. Early testers say the game's mechanics feel fresh and cinematic. Detractors say they just keep forgetting what phase they're in, but that's tradition now, isn't it? Holiday box season is upon us. Games Workshop announced 7 new 40k battleboxes and 4 for Age of Sigmar in what industry insiders call Operation Wallet Breaker. Highlights include a new Space Marine head sprue because apparently you don't have enough stern-chinned men staring heroically into the middle distance. And as for AOS fans, more Stormghast because you will have gold armor and you will like it. On the local scene, miniature meetup madness in Saint Louis du Haha, a group of hobbyists hosted a 24-hour charity paint-a-thon. They raised $2,000 and finished exactly one model. Spirits were high, caffeine was higher. Brush tips nobody asked for. This week's theme: surviving holiday painting season. Tip number 1. Prioritize your projects. Don't start every battle box at once. Pick one, finish it, and lie to yourself about never buying more. That's what we call emotional priming. Tip number 2. Handle your sprues smartly. Clip over a tray, not your lap. unless you're going for that crunchy carpet aesthetics. Tip number 3, paint in layers, not lumps. Thin your paints, unless you want your model's face to look like it's been microwaved. Tip number 4, clean your airbrush regularly. Treat it like your toothbrush. If you wouldn't put it in your mouth after 6 months of neglect, maybe it needs a rinse. Mental hobby tip, remember, progress over perfection. It's better to have a slightly wonky army fully painted than a perfect one that exists only in your imagination or on your credit card bill. And now a word from our sponsors. Mod Podge Energy Drink, Trademark Incorporated. Stick with Mod Podge Energy, the only drink that seals your thirst and your terrain. Comes in gloss, matte, and regret finishes. Cease-and-desist Legal Miniatures, Trademark Incorporated. Tired of being sued for fun? Try Cease-and-desist Legal Miniatures. Every pack includes totally original units like Power Suit Warriors and definitely not Primarchs. Comes with a complimentary apology template for Reddit. Piles of Shame Fitness, Trademark Incorporated. Turn your backlog into a workout. Lift battleboxes, stretch your budget, and build endurance for 4-hour dry times. Pile of Shame Fitness, Trademark Incorporated, because gains aren't just for your army list. Contrast Coffee, the Litigation Blend, Trademark Incorporated, strong enough to keep you awake through legal documents and balanced data slates. Warning, may cause spontaneous online rants about IP law. Events and exposés. Digital Rule Update goes live. Games Workshop latest app update moved all digital rules into faction packs. Finally, every player can experience the joy of downloading 6 different files to find one stratagem they'll forget mid-game. Battlebox Breakdown. With 11 hobby boxes announced, hobbyists are divided between excitement and existential dread. Some call it value, others call it the annual test of self-control. Community reaction. A survey of players found that 64% plan to buy at least one box, 25% plan to buy 2, and 11% insist they're quitting the hobby entirely right after this next purchase. Corvus Belli's continued rise, Warcrow's getting buzz as the anti-Games Workshop fantasy game. Smaller scale, cooler mechanics, and less need for a second mortgage. Battletech holiday packs, Catalyst teased clan-themed gift sets. Each one comes with dice, mechs, and the eternal question, why is the lore still better than my painting? Malifaux new faction preview. Wired Games previewed a faction that literally weaponizes bad luck. Perfect for that one player who always rolls ones and swears it's the dice's fault. Our rotating minigame. Hobby Court. Guilty or Glittery. Every week, listeners submit their hobby crimes and we, the fake jury, pass judgment. Case number 1. I paint the bases first, then forget what colors I used for my army. Verdict? Guilty of preemptive enthusiasm. Sentence? 1 hour of reorganizing paints by hue. Case number 2. I dry brush metallics with my best sable brush. Verdict? Maximum penalty. You are hereby banished to Citadel base coat brush purgatory. Case number 3. I use contrast paints for everything. Verdict? Surprisingly innocent. Community service painting terrain for others. And now our predictions for the week ahead. Siege Studio will rebrand Warboot into a community outreach event called Peace Shoe. Games Workshop will release another new Space Marine head sprue, this one smiling. The community will panic. Corvus Belli will reveal a Warcrow expansion featuring flying halflings because somebody needs to. And somewhere out there, a hobbyist will finally finish their first army, then immediately buy another one. Until next time, keep your brushes damp, your wallets dry, and remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only legal paperwork. Please subscribe to the show to get your weekly fix and leave a review. This has been C7 Miniature Misinformer Podcast, reporting the tabletop wargaming news you didn't know you needed because it isn't real. Maybe. Possibly. Maybe a little.